Here's my take on it. I've been in this business for 30 years. I own annuities myself, and I've had clients purchase annuities for themselves. The primary reason I own them and that I've suggested them to my clients is they do something so very, very well and unique, better than any other kind of place you can put your money. And that is they can provide lifetime guaranteed income. Hello, everyone. This is Ron Courser with Cornerstone Retirement Partners. I welcome you to today's program. It's going to be an awesome program talking about an awesome subject called annuities. And those of you who already have put your hands over your ears and start screaming la, la, la loudly, relax. I'm not going to try to push them on you. I'm merely going to talk about them to see if they make any sense for anybody in any given situation. So I think we'll start today's program. Again, I'm Ron Courser, Cornerstone Retirement Partners. Give me a call, 616-301-2581, 616-301-2581, or go to our website, www.cornerstone-rp.com. Put your information in there. We'll reach out to you. We can send you things to think about, to read, or have a conversation with you about a simple question, right, that has so many implications. Is an annuity right for you? And I'm going to say the answer for that, for everybody, is it depends. Okay, so let's start on a positive note. You can hear today's program on our website, or you can hear all the other programs we've done too. A lot of good information. So let's talk basically, what in the world is an annuity? If for a moment we can just step back and in the simplest form, think of an annuity as a savings account with a life insurance company. Think of your 401k account as a savings account with somebody who's sponsoring the 401k plan. Think of your IRA as a savings account that's held by some custodian. Think of your bank CD as a savings account held by the bank. So if we think about all these different vehicles, they are primarily savings accounts. But the difference is that they all do some things really, really well. And they all do some other things really, really poorly. So it's important to understand that just because you have a hammer, every problem is not a 10-penny nail. So let's go forward here and talk about annuities. First of all, full disclosure. I know that probably everybody listening to today's program has gotten on the internet and Googled annuities and come out with 64,000 different opinions. And you hear a lot of horror stories, bad opinions. There's people on TV advertising why I hate annuities, and I'll give you 1,000 reasons. Here's my take on it. I've been in this business for 30 years. I own annuities myself, and I've had clients purchase annuities for themselves. The primary reason I own them and that I've suggested them to my clients is they do something so very, very well and unique, better than any other kind of place you can put your money. And that is they can provide lifetime guaranteed income. Your stock portfolio, my stock portfolio, won't do that. You know, if you have a market crash and you got all your money in the stock market and your $500,000 goes to zero, your custodian, if it's Vanguard or Fidelity or Schwab, is not going to call you up and say, well, you're a really nice person, we're still going to give you money. It's not going to happen. But when you have money in a principal protected annuity, and there's a lot of different kinds of annuities, when I talk about in this program, is primarily a principal protected annuities, is that you can't run out of money. They'll send you money. If God lets you live to be 144, they'll still send you money. So one of the primary reasons we're thinking about perhaps, should I add an annuity, and I'm talking about a principal protected annuity, to my portfolio, depends on, do I need more guaranteed income? Think about this. You have Social Security income, we consider that guaranteed. If you have a pension, that's really great. That's more guaranteed income. The key to a successful retirement is having enough guaranteed income coming in every month to pay all your bills. Ongoing, doesn't matter. You need $6,000 a year coming in, or $6,000 a month to make your lifestyle and hold on to retirement. You have Social Security pension. And if that doesn't make up 6,000, you got to get the money from some other place. One of the best places to consider is a principal protected annuity to try to make up that gap. Because if you can create a retirement income plan where 100% of your required monthly income is coming from protected sources, pensions, Social Security, annuity payments, you're going to have a really good retirement, because it's not going to matter what the market does going up or down. So that's the first thing to consider. The second thing to realize is that, like any place to put your money, it's probably not a perfect place to put all your money. I've never recommended that somebody put all their money in one of these things. I don't have all my money in all of these things. But what my wife and Nancy and I have is, if we ever decide to retire, what we have put into annuities, these principal protected vehicles, are going to provide the income we need in addition to Social Security to maintain our lifestyle. And we don't have an extravagant lifestyle. So that's some of the things to think about. What are some of the bad things, or bad things that we've heard? They may not are bad, they just sound bad. One of the things I run into over the 30 years I've been in this business is somebody will come into the office and we'll talk about perhaps thinking about using an annuity, and they'll go back to their other advisor because they're not sure. And the other advisor doesn't deal with annuities. They don't sell them, which is an interesting thing, because if you're a fiduciary, wouldn't you think you'd be obligated to talk to everybody about different investment vehicles, different income vehicles, of which annuities are one? But a lot of companies don't. So they go back, and the first thing I hear when I come back is, my advisor said, I'm going to tie up all my money. No, you're not going to tie up all your money. Number one, you're not going to put all your money into it. Number two, an annuity is designed to provide income over your lifetime, just like any other vehicle. If you put your money in a 3-year CD or a 5-year CD, are you tying up your money? Yeah, in annuities, there are things called surrender charges. But that only happens, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't abide by the rules of the annuity contract. As long as you follow the rules, you're not going to be penalized. You're not going to lose money. It's going to work the way you want it to work if you've worked in an advisor like our firm that understands how they work and how to put them into an income plan for retirement that makes sense. So those are some of the things to consider. Again, if this has kind of touched your hot button, you want to talk to me about it, give me a call. I'm Ron Corser. Call me at 616-301-2581, or go to your website, www.cornerstone-rp.com. Put your information in there. We'll schedule a time to talk. I will give you the good, the bad, the ugly of any kind of investment option or savings vehicle option you're interested in, including annuities. I think annuities are one of those things that, if you know more about them, number one, you understand them better, you're less frightened about them, and you have a better understanding of how they might work for you. Now, for some people, they're absolutely not correct. Don't worry about that. At least you went through it and said they're not for me. But it's important, if lifetime income is important to you, to at least take a look at these things called annuities, because they do it better than anybody else. So what else is important about them? You get principal protection. I've talked about that. Everybody likes principal protection. The perfect investment in the world, right, is I'm guaranteed not to lose any money. I'm guaranteed to get what the market gives me, and I'm guaranteed to get all the cash and cash flow out of there that I'll ever need. That's a perfect investment. In a little over 30 years in this business, I haven't found it yet, but I never stop looking, because that's my job, to look for things that make sense for our clients. I've never found it. So think about this. If you put money in a CD, and a lot of clients are doing it, we've recommended that because it's appropriate for what they're trying to, what they're money to do. You set that money aside. You don't put all your money in a CD. I've never met anybody that does it. You set it aside for either a specific purpose or a specific period of time. It's the same approach you should take intellectually and emotionally with an annuity, with a principal protected one. Number one, they have different time periods. 2, 3, 5, 7, 10, 14 years. One may be appropriate depending on what you wanted to do, but they all, no matter what time period you select, are great producers of predictable income going down the road. So you have the different options. You can ladder CDs and you can ladder annuity products. It's an interesting strategy to try because it makes great sense. So we know that. There's a lot of different kinds of annuities. I need to go another hour and a half to dig into all the details. And frankly, probably Peter and you would just run screaming out of the room if I got out into the weeds on these things. I'm a bit of a geek, so I do that on occasion, and I apologize in advance for doing that. So what about fees? You hear this thing about annuities saying, oh my goodness, they're just stacked with terrible, ugly fees. Probably the biggest culprit is something called a variable annuity. What in the world is a variable annuity versus a principal protected annuity? A variable annuity is an insurance wrapper that has mutual funds in it, and it does have fees, anywhere from 2.5%. The highest I've ever seen is about 4% a year. That money you pay before anything else, good or bad, happens in your annuity product. But what can a variable annuity do that's positive? It can be created to send you a lifetime of income. It's just an annuity that does that. It just happens to be, it's an option for stock market investing, the variable annuity, from my opinion. That's why we choose to use the principal protected annuities. So one of the key issues in sitting down with a good advisor is to say, I need to have a retirement income plan that gives me the most, if all, not all, of the predictable, guaranteed, protected income I need coming in every month into my retirement checkbook. That's a key question to ask. And given that question, an annuity is always an appropriate place to put your money, but only after you really dig into the details and you work with an advisor who understands it. Some of these annuities aren't complicated because that's been a criticism of some of them. They are. Some of them I frankly don't understand, so I don't even use them. But for the most part, they're straightforward, simple ways to place your money in an account with a life insurance company that will give you principal protection using the protected annuities, that will give you lifetime income that you can't run out. And if properly structured, will always give you access to that money. You're not tying it up forever. It'll give you access to that money should something unforeseeable happen. What can those things be? You end up having to go in a nursing home, or you have a long-term care issue happen to you. Somebody dies. Somebody becomes disabled. You have access to your money under those circumstances. So it's not nearly as horrible as it's made out to be. So will your cash flow fluctuate once you set this up? No. And in fact, sometimes with some annuity contracts in the principal protected arena, you can structure them so that your income over time will increase every year to take care of inflation. So yeah, in total with annuities, a lot of bad press, right? It's kind of like, oh my goodness, it's the vampire we have to kill. But a lot of that comes from a couple places. Number one, some life insurance agents have used them in a bad way. They go up to a little old lady who's 79 years old. She's got $100,000 of savings, and they somehow finagle it to put all her money in the annuity with surrender charges. And then a year later, she has to go into a home. She has to liquidate that annuity, and she takes a loss. I've never done that. I don't believe in it. That I think is immoral, unethical, and in some places illegal. So that's one of the issues to think about. The other issue is that how much is it going to cost? Ladies and gentlemen, there's a cost to in every place you put your money, every kind of account. There's a cost of either there's a charge on it or there's a tax charge on it. Those are both costs. One of the things that annuities do, even for after-tax money, is you can put money into an after-tax principal protected annuity, and what happens inside of that annuity, the growth, grows tax deferred. So you don't pay immediate taxes on it. You only pay tax when you take money out. That can be a real advantage because part of structuring a retirement program, part of an income retirement program, is to make sure you have a tax plan attached to that program to make sure you pay the least amount of tax to get the most amount of money out of your accounts. So that seems to make some sense. So can you lose all your money in a principal protected annuity? Not if you pay attention to the rules. You're not going to lose all your money. The annuity is guaranteed by the claims paying ability of the insurance company, and also there's some other underlying protections. And here's a fact, and I'll just say I'll bet anybody any amount of money. There's never been a documented case where somebody who put their money into a fixed principal annuity has lost money as long as they followed the rules and followed the contract provisions. There's a story told, and I'll finish with this, about Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was a highly compensated baseball player. In the late 20s, he had money in three places: in the bank, in the stock market, and he had some money in a principal protected vanilla annuity. Stock market crash happened, the banks collapsed. He had all his money in his bank went away. He lost all of his money in the stock market. He never lost a penny in his annuity. So those are some things to think about. So in total, when you're thinking about, should I have an annuity in my investment plan, in my stockbroker plan, in any kind of plan, retirement plan? Number one, I'm going to encourage you to work with a firm with salespeople who are fiduciaries and who will look at the whole gamut of investment options, including annuities, because they may be right for you. And it would be wrong as a fiduciary for me not to bring it up. So that's the first thing. Consider too, how much predictable guaranteed income you want in retirement. Most people want 100% of their bills paid for every month. So that's a goal for a lot of people. In that case, an annuity might be appropriate. So give it some thought. Another one is just pure principal protection. You know, when the world went down the toilet in 2008 and 2009, I had a client who called me, and this is really remarkable because it happened in November 2008 when it seemed like our whole world was collapsing around us. And he called me up and he said, "Well, Ron, how bad is it?" And I said, "What do you mean, how bad is it? How bad is it?" I said, "It's really bad. I don't know where this market's going." And then he said, "Well, how much money did I lose?" Now, the only place he had money with us in our firm was in a principal protected indexed annuity. And I remember saying to him, I said, "Charlie, you didn't lose any money. Remember, this is principal protected." He said, "You mean I didn't lose a dime?" I said, "No, you still have the same amount of money today that you had in the beginning of the year." And he said, "Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Bless you." I remembered that and I think, thank you that we did that for him. But see, there are a lot of other people who said the same thing. So if you're interested in learning more about annuities, because they may be right for some of you out there, give us a call here at Cornerstone Retirement Partners. I'm Ron Corser, 616-301-2581, 616-301-2581. Go to our website, www.cornerstone-rp.com. Put your information in there. We'll reach out to you, get you what you need to make great decisions for you and your family. Thanks for tuning in. I pray you have a blessed day and look forward to talking with you again.
Tune into Cornerstone Retirement Partners' full radio program, Your Course to Retirement, Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock at News Radio WOOD, or visit cornerstone-rp.com for many valuable resources, including those mentioned on this show and other great episodes of Your Course to Retirement.
The content of this radio show is provided for informational purposes only and is not a solicitation or recommendation of any investment strategy. You are encouraged to seek investment, tax, or legal advice from an independent professional advisor.
Ed Slott's Elite IRA Advisor Group is solely an indication that the financial advisor has attended training provided by Ed Slott and Company, passed biannual examinations on material covered at conferences and in webinars, and met other membership requirements and does not constitute an endorsement of any kind. Ed Slott's Elite IRA Advisor Group members pay a fee for the educational programs that allow them to be included in the Ed Slott's Elite IRA Advisor Group. Membership does not guarantee investment success. Fiduciary duty extends solely to investment advisory advice and does not extend to other activities such as insurance or broker-dealer services.
Advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, a registered investment advisor.
Advisory clients are charged a quarterly fee for assets under management, while insurance products pay a commission, which may result in a conflict of interest regarding compensation.
Any investments and/or investment strategies mentioned involve risk, including the possible loss of principal. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not refer in any way to securities or investment advisory products. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals or growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes.